Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're here, it's probably because you've been following along with my Pink Princess series. I cut up my Pink Princess 7 months ago, and I've been sharing every couple of weeks how the cuttings have been going. I'm sorry that I'm so blown out. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I have a really bad quality webcam, apparently. It's also super dark out. I'm doing this pretty late Thursday night. This whole week I've been creating a backlog of videos to share with you guys, and I've been trying to keep these videos pretty like on the nose, so every 2 weeks when I post one of these, you know that it's like this is what the cuttings look like 2 weeks from the last time that I put out a video. So we are on week 7 now, actually, which is pretty insane. So let's jump in and take a look at how the cuttings are coming along. Currently on the table here I have all of the plants that I'm currently propagating that you guys have seen over the last few weeks since I started these propagation videos. So we're going to take a look at them right now. We'll start with the Pink Princesses because that seems to be what y'all are here for. So we took these Pink Princess cuttings 7 weeks ago. It's been 7 weeks that they've been in water, so let's take a look at this one. POTHOS is doing good. Okay, so, oh my goodness. Okay, so we have 2 Pink Princess cuttings in that one. And if you look at that, the roots are looking good. They're so long. I'm not sure how much root needs to grow before they can be repotted. I'm gonna say probably a little more than that, but that is looking really good, especially because I didn't think that they were gonna root at all. And of course, the neon pothos that I have with it is growing crazy as well, so that's a good sign. So let's take a look at these Pink Princess cuttings. Again, I just have them in here with a, oh, that actually looks like it's rotted. I just have them in here with this neon pothos, and I wasn't sure that this one would actually root because it's pretty woody, but I don't know. I might cut that off because that's looking pretty nasty. But as you can see, these cuttings are kind of the same as the last ones. Look at those roots. That is great. That is so good. And this one's even growing something. Oh no, maybe not. Oh no, right in here. Look at that. It's growing a, I don't know if you can see that. Let's bring them close. It's growing a new leaf right in there. This wasn't even the top, so that's great. So I might be potting these sooner than I thought. For anybody who has experience with rooting Pink Princess philodendrons, let me know in the comments below whether this is okay to put it into soil. I don't want to wait too long because I don't want them to grow roots that like aren't going to take to soil well, so I'm not sure if I should just dump them into soil now and see what happens. But yeah, even this one is also growing a new leaf right in there, so that's like really exciting. So yeah, those ones are doing great. We have some Pink Princesses in this one as well. So again, the neon pothos that we have it with, doing really well. It's kind of a little trick to put pothos with other plants to help them root, because as I mentioned in another video, the hormone that this plant puts out when it's creating roots in water will help stimulate other plants to create roots. So it's really beneficial if you're having trouble with your other plants and seeing root progress while you're water rooting them, throw in a pothos cutting. I don't really plan on doing much with these neon pothos. I actually don't have a neon pothos. These came from my mom's neon pothos. But maybe I'll pot them up and, I don't know, see if I like it or not. And look at this one. So, this was the top of the pink princess that I cut. It pushed out a new leaf, which actually this is the first time that I'm seeing this, which is kind of embarrassing. And there's another leaf coming out through there, so that's like really good. When I pot this, I'll probably cut this into 2, but man, that's looking really great. My next video of these will probably be potting them up because that's looking really great. So let's take a look at some of the other plants that I'm propagating. So we'll start with these, Peperomia hopes. I have a video where I propagate these and put these together. We'll link that in the description below and up in the cards so you guys can check that out. So these I think are only 2 weeks old. It hasn't been very long since we potted these up, and the last time that we looked there wasn't any growth. Is that a root or is it just dirt? I can't tell. It's kind of hard to see, but see this little thing right here? Is that a root or is that just part of the dirt? I think that might actually be a root, so that's interesting. I thought it would root like at the bottom, or who knows, but okay, so that's something. I've been trying to keep these pots moist as well. Because they're in terracotta, the water seeps out a lot easier than if they were in something that was glazed or something that was plastic. But there's bugs flying around everywhere. Okay, yeah, look at that. Let me get that. Okay, you may not be able to see it in the camera. I don't know how much closer it'll focus. But, oh, you know what? I was wrong. Okay, never mind. But I think I need to water these again. Yeah, look at that. There's nothing. There's no new growth. So it's been 2 weeks. This is the first time that I have propagated Peperomia hopes. So far, I'm not gonna check all of them, but so far it looks like either we haven't given them enough time to start pushing out roots, or I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, still nothing. Okay. But we'll keep an eye on those, and I'll keep you updated on their progress. So, let's look at these next. These are my VINCA vines, which I have never grown before. I don't even know if they're an indoor house plant. I just saw them. My mom had a bunch of these in boxes in the backyard, and I really liked the look at them. So I took some cuttings to see if they would root, and look, they have. Yeah, those are looking good. I think that we might be able to pot these up in the same video that we pot up the pink princess. So that's pretty promising. So, I don't know much about VINCA. Oh, look at that. A leaf just fell off of it. Well, I don't know much about VINCA, but I plan on doing a video about it. And yeah, so those are rooting up nicely. Okay, so let's look at this next. I think I took these cuttings of this red Maranta about the same time that I took the pink princess cuttings. So if we look at these, yeah, those roots are good. See, and I would pot these up now. I don't know if that's too soon. A lot of people wait until there's a really highly developed root system before they pot them up. But I like to pot them when they're still like this, because when they're in water, they push out roots that are more suited for water and getting nutrients from water than they would soil. So it's almost like a shock putting them into soil. Look at that. I think that's a new leaf coming in. So I'll probably cut that there. But yeah. And this, of course, was the neon pothos that I had with it. This one was pretty woody, so I wasn't sure if it was going to grow anything, but it's got some roots there at the bottom. Before we go on to the satin pothos, which I know I showed in another video, I took these cuttings. I think all of these cuttings are from earlier this week. I don't expect to see any growth. This is a Peperomia obtusifolia. I just cut the top off, and look at that. The new growth is all dead and black, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that. I could just cut these leaves off and propagate the leaves, But there's a little new leaf coming in right in the center. So I don't know, maybe all hope isn't lost. This is an obtusifolia though, not a hope. So there's this one again. There's nothing there. Actually, there's a little start of something, but yeah, very little. These will probably take some time. And these are some cuttings that I took of my Philodendron micans. This was one of the plants that I featured in my A Plant a Week videos that I put out on Monday. So these I took recently too. I'm gonna have to take them all out. I don't expect to see any root growth on any of these yet, and it looks like I'm right. The plant that I got, the mother plant, is pretty old. I got cuttings from someone in a trade I traded a bunch of Burrow's tail, I think, for these. And it was a pretty old plant, pretty woody, pretty leggy. So I finally chopped it up, and I'm gonna try and get a bunch of those out of there. This cutting too, there's gonna be no new growth in it because I took it today. My sister got an AGLAONEMA chocolate, and it was really beautiful. I'd never seen one of those before, so I took a little cutting just earlier today. So that's kind of in fresh water. Okay, moving on to the satin pothos. So when I was cutting up the satin pothos, I decided to try propagating it 2 different ways. The first way was just in regular water. Pothos is pretty prolific when it comes to growing roots in water. And as you can see, look at that. That's a root, that's a root, that's a root. It's doing really well. They've just kind of taken off in the last little while. So that's really good actually. Because the last time we checked, I don't think there was any roots. I don't think there was any root growth on any of them. This one still doesn't have anything. Maybe it wasn't even in the water. Oh no, it was in the water. This one too has a tiny little root. So it looks like some of them grew a lot better than others. Look at that. Nothing on that one. But in the same jar, this one, with all of these crazy roots. So that's interesting. I don't know why some of them rooted and some didn't. The second way that I tried propagating these was through sphagnum moss. And I've kept them in here in moist sphagnum moss. Let's see, let's pull a couple of these up and see what we got. Oh, you know what? That feels very much attached. Holy crap. Okay. I don't want to pull it apart and pull the root off, but that's definitely attached to a root. You can see a little bit of it right in the middle there. Yeah, that's looking really good. I'm really impressed with that. Let's take a look at another one of these. I'm gonna have to clean this mess up. So there's this one. Oh yeah, this one has a root. You can see the little root on the top right there. And that one was just sitting on top of the moss because it was a pretty short cutting. Let's look at this big guy. That's definitely attached to something in there too. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. That's the end of that. Oh, there's 2 roots. Wow, I'm really impressed with rooting this way. Oh wow, look at that root system. Okay, so we'll be potting these up in the next video as well. So some of these, like this one, doesn't have. Oh, it's got a little bit of roots. Let's pull a few more of these up. This one has nothing. Interesting. This one definitely has some. This one has nothing. This one was also. Oops. This one was also just sitting on top of the moss. It has no growth. This one was buried a little deep into the moss, and it's got big roots on it. So I think the jury is kind of out as to whether or not water propagating or propagating in sphagnum moss is better. Well, it seems like more of the leaves in the moss are rooting quicker. The length of the roots between the pothos that were rooted in water and those rooted in sphagnum is about the same. After, I think this is 5 weeks of growth. So 5 or 4 weeks, something like that. So I guess you can do it either way, really. And you'll also have duds like this either way. Okay, so next we have, this is the money tree cutting that I have. Again, it's just got this strange, like, it almost looks like barnacled growth on the bottom. I don't know if those are the roots forming, but the last time that I rooted a money plant, it did the exact same thing. So, I'm assuming that's normal and that's natural for it. Who knows? If this dies, it's no big loss. I just took it because it was on the top of the tree and it was kind of like ruining the shape a little bit, and I thought I would try and root it and see what happens. So I also have these MONSTERA cuttings that I got from my grandmother's plant, and they are doing incredibly well. So let's take a look at this one. So look at the roots on this one. This one root started as an aerial root, and now it's got all of these other roots coming off of it. And it pushed out a new leaf. Look at that, while it was rooting. So that's pretty exciting. I think, again, I'm not sure when I would pot this up because this is the first time that I've ever rooted MONSTERA. But I might just pot it up now just because I want it to form some roots in the soil in this sphagnum moss that I'm going to put it in. Let's take a look at this one. This one's got crazy root growth. Look at that. And all of that is out of this, which was an aerial root. And it's super long and kind of slimy and gross. I don't like touching it. This one also has, I think, actually, I don't know. It looks like it had something growing in there, but it also looks like it's rotting, so I don't really know. You know what? It's probably because this was in water. So whatever was growing in here, it looks like it has rotted. Ooh, it's all squishy and gross. Yep. So it might have been growing something new, but it is not anymore. But I think that will be fine. I think once we get it potted up, and once this part dries out, that it'll be fine. Or at least that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I'm very excited for these. Yeah, that looks good. So the final thing that I'm propagating, I don't know if this is propagation or not. I think it's more germination. But I took a bunch of seeds from apricots that I had got from the store, from the grocery store. And I thought I would try and grow some apricot trees just like for the heck of it. Oh my goodness. This is the first time that I've looked at these. It's been about a week and a half, and look at that. I've got, this one's already showing signs of, it's already cracked. I think that's ready to be potted. I don't really know. I've never done this before. Some of these other ones cracked. Look at that. I don't know why they did that. And then some other ones haven't shown any signs of, is this called germination? I really don't know. I don't know anything about seeds. But this one, let's see if I can pull that off. Look at that. So that's probably ready to be planted, maybe? I'm gonna have to look up what to do with this and get back to you. But that's pretty exciting. That's only been in there for like a week or two. So we'll probably be potting that up, I'm assuming, at the same time as some of these other stuff. Lastly, let's take a look at the mother pink princess. So here she is. Just a reminder, it's been 7 weeks since we took those cuttings. And let's have a look and see if we can find any hints of new growth on here. So this nice pink one right here, that's our highest, that's our highest leaf, and it looks like, I gotta turn it this way. Yep, we have no new growth. So once again, 7 weeks, and this has displayed no new signs of new growth. You know, I'm not too worried about this. My sister had one of these and it didn't show signs of new growth for almost a year before it kind of started showing new signs, and now it has crazy growth. So I think because I shocked it pretty good, chopped off way more than half of it, I think it's going to take some time to recover. But I'm not too worried. And hopefully in the end, I'll end up with a lot more pink leaves. I do have plans for this plant, so I'm going to be planting some of the cuttings that I took back in here. But before I do that, I'm going to be building a moss pole for it and a couple other of my plants that would do a lot better with a moss pole. And I'm going to record that video, how to create a moss pole. So look for that video in either next week or the next coming weeks. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It'll grow. And there you have it. That's how my cuttings have been. It's pretty exciting. I think in the next video we might be doing a potting of some of those cuttings. So that's super interesting. Also, I would love to hear what you guys are propagating at home. Please post in the comments below what you guys are propagating. I'm super interested in that, and I'm always interested to see what people are propagating and how it's going for them. I've been propagating for like since I started collecting plants, but propagating pink princess is a lot different than like pothos or Sansevieria or something like that. Something super common that I can just go to the grocery store and pick up. You know, cutting up my pink princess was pretty intense. I also want to say a big thank you to those of you who have reached out to me on my Instagram and other accounts. I've really enjoyed seeing pictures of your pink princess cuttings and how they're coming along. It's been a big encouragement to me as well to kind of see that, because I've never rooted pink princess before. I'm just kind of jumping into this blindly. So it's nice seeing some of your cuttings and figuring out how to best root our pink princesses. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for similar content. On Mondays, I post videos about houseplants. And on Fridays, I also post videos about houseplants and reading, writing, photography, art, and any other generic interests of mine. As always, you can find my social media links in the description below. Also, you can find links to H&H Games, the board game company I've helped create, and our debut board game, Season of Heroes. You can also find the Amazon links to my fantasy series, A Chronicle of Crowns. Thanks for watching. Bye!